hoi lai li. Kawai ole luna kapulu ni kai wai luana na mai peli lai la wai ho aku ano au aloha kawai li oka na ala mai na mokihana wai au hi aka. Ho papa peli lai la o ka huele wai ke pele al kulu he no hino pele ka waka oka lani. Eli kau mai. Ho mai na pele la au miki au ke al kulu lo anu aka moni li o pele o ke aku ni kui lai luna lani. Wai hi aka papu ia aka papa ka ni mai hi mai ka hile pu ki kule mai aka lo ia kea. Eli kau mai. O wakaina na ola aku ka pakai o kohala. O ke aku la pe pule ke ula le ke mele o ke aku koi le o ku ka koi mai ana makunini. Kala pule lu pula ka ia kau ia. Ole ko ilo man mai ana kai kino ko kai ali ko amale li e. O ko le ka ko na la ka la pu mino le ka po ka la pe ai kau ilu ka malam. Eli kau mai. E makino ai he kalo i ka po au hi kalo ai kai pu ka ma ke aku ka mamal ka pu na ho ali kui kala ni kai ki. Oh, kau le kau nu kiau ka mela ni ula le ke aku kai pele kau kai pele ene kai pele ai pau ko honi ka pa hoi ai oi au he pa hoi la no yo le ka le ka pa hoi ke aku e ka ni ula o pele ku himala na ko he holi na pele no hona ai la na vai ne pule mana na na pa bo eli kau mai Kiope mai ena ki ahi aka naka ole ao ki lau e ai ku mama wai ku wā mai ana ka pihe luni ka pale o mali o ku ua vai maka ia nei ka naka ulipu e o ka vai pua i kau lao mei ko maka aina na ho pua i kau lao hau ke akua ku ua e pele lapu ne pele wai hoa nei lalo lapa hoi ai oi au e pa hoi la e holo e ka wai kai ka mano o la hi aki ka puli o pele hoi aku e hoi ka mala ma ama pihe luni ka viki i ho mai ama ke aku kana ho la ku muka lau lave ama hau ne ke ka wai pa e ka polo ka malo ku wana pa e ilu ka unu le ana pa e ka unu lilu ka wana pa e ilu ka mana pa e ha le ki ani ya mole e hino ba e ha o e onu ku ka hina le ko pe ke hiwai e le po e ko ya le ka ya le ma ko kai ko na ni anu ka ku ko ha ina ka mana ke ko i va ulai li eli kau mai e pele e
I think the challenge of a person today who is wanting to learn how to chant or maybe beginning to want to approach the door to open and then get into the room in which one can learn how to chant. I think in order to get to that point, we need to try to look for that voice, look for that chanting voice, to find it in each of us. Because you know that chanting voice is in each of us, even though probably when we hum to ourselves or if we're just singing, off the top of our head, maybe to a song that we hear on the radio, it's going to be a more Western kind of voice because that's what surrounds us today, is that Western kind of singing. So the Hawaiian sound is something that we should all strive for, I think, and it's something that we should believe that we can attain.
You have your different size of hula drums that were used for dancing. You have your great big tempo drums and then the small puckles. The size of it makes the difference of its tone. So if you had a little small one like this, it had a different sound. And if you had a real small little head like this, you had a higher sound. Alright? And if you had a great big one like this, then you had one of those.
Your last motion is here, right, and you're down, okay? So you stay in that position, and then you're just showing the fire is rising, okay? So you just from here, you're just going to go 1, 2, 3, okay, that's 2 halos. 1, 2, down, 1, 2, okay, all like this. 2, yeah, scooping up towards you and up, fire. Okay, try it, ready? Go, down, 1, 2, 3, 4, beautiful, beautiful.
Get down on the bounce. Hey, kai moene no tele
If any of you plan to become instructors in the art form, you have to remember this masculine style and the more feminine or soft and gentle style of hula. Okay? So when in this dance, I want that strength. I want that. What do you call that? I don't know. I'm trying to reach. Just like this wind blowing right now. See how strong this wind is blowing? That's what I want applied into dance. Okay? Here we go. Makoko.
Ai, pa mai kamakani o kau pleu. No luai hine bai. Yala! Hey, you are no kaupule.
Aloha kakahiaka kako, and welcome to Lani Kuhonua. We're going to begin the show. First, we proudly present an award-winning halau, headed by its kumuhula, John Kahai Tapolinsky, and the beautiful ladies and the handsome men of Kapaa Hula, Hawaii.
Mai pai ka leo he ole ka he mai e eli kapu eli noa ke ku noa ka hele noa kana vai ke aku
Kamana vai hia moi ko uo ala no e o e ala ulani wa ka rei me manu e kanine ke kua iwi ke kua.
Ai anu anu kole nani. Ai
anu kole nani o kai hi po he kana hele e hakui amala e ke ki o au o ola va kapua ka makale
ai anu kole nani.
ai anu kole nani kai hi po he kana hele e hakui amala e ke ki o au o ola va kapua ka makale
E aha ka hana vai puia.
e aha ka hana vai puhiara o maunei ke oho palai vehi la ni huli I ke karelu I pulo kui ke alona pali
E aha ka hana vai puia.
e aha ka hana vai puhiara o maunei ke oho palai vehi la ni huli ke karelu I pulo kui ke alona pali
Paole ke o nauna o ke kele.
Pau ole ke ona na o ke kele a hui hala o ka hina no hano moralane ka ehu kei ka no hoa ka ua a pua ke ai
Paole ke o nauna o ke kele.
Pau ole ke ona na o ke kele a hui hala o ka hina no hano moralane ka ehu kei ka no hoa ka ua a pua ke ai
Ia ke ka o huina ku hivi.
Ya ke ata o una tua hivi ke ka kai pali o mauna wili e aloha ia vai anu wika ili ualoa ka leo ke ka huli
Ia ke ka ohu.
ya ke ata o una tua hivi ke ka kai pali o mauna wili e aloha ia vai anu wika ili
our keikis back at this time, and they'd like to share with you a tune entitled Ili Ino Oi. Ili Ino Oi I kanaka aula malalo aku wau ai kole ola Ili Ino Oi I kanaka aula malalo aku wau ai kole ola Inoho aku wau a e kukena lula I tuene ho I oe ko lui kina la ea Inoho aku wau a e kukena lula I tuene ho I oe ko lui kina la He keu o e la a ke aloha o le la I nei a mau maka I mo aku nei la He keu o e la a ke aloha o le la I nei a mau maka I mo aku nei la O ike a e oe a e malu malu la A e hiwi ha I vale no ka amakihila O ike a e oe a e malu malu la A e hiwi ha I vale no ka amakihila Aina ia mai ana ka buana la Ili ino oi I kanaka aula Aina ia mai ana ka buana la ea Ili ino oi I kanaka aula
Her question was Aya ihea ko halahula, which translates as Where is your hula halau? My hula halau is on the big island, the island of Hawaii in Hilo. And we were born and raised in Hilo. And we were brought up in hula kahiko tradition, which means that my grandmother was originally our teacher. And she taught us how to do the hula when we were little kids, 4, 5, 6 years old. The hula has been our tradition with my grandmother, with her uncle before her, with my mother, and now with my sister and I.
Kai kala kai o nula uelu ni na aleo tauna hakika kala mai na e kamakani kai kala kale ua o pana e ba hele kai kuini ka babalohi o apu e ono kai ono eli kaumai e pele holo mai pele mai kahitina ako kawa ai mo oki no hoi gaua o kumalai ho ku pele ma I keki no hoi keki a pele ma akahapua o hoko I pele holo mai pele mai kahitina ako kawa ai mo oki no hoi gaua o kumalai ho ku pele ma I keki no hoi keki a pele ma akahapua o hoko Kanai pele ma ila ila kaya waka ia pele ma kalai pele iwi te honi ke ala o kahala o kale hua o kalele akahapui a pele ma Kanai pele ma ila ila kaya waka ia pele ma kalai pele iwi te honi ke ala o kahala o kale hua o kalele akahapui a pele ma
Waiko Makuahine was the question, which translates as? Who is your mother? My mother was Edith Kanakaole, and she died a few years ago, in fact, 9 years ago. But my mother was the one that actually taught us, besides dancing, taught us how to chant and taught us the many kaunas that the chants have. Because we are a halau from the Big Island, because my grandmother was from the Big Island, it goes back many generations from the Big Island. The eruption of Pele and all of these different activities of the volcano, not only the eruption itself, but the steaming, the ups and downs of the lands because of volcanic activities, and also the growth as well, the kinds of vegetation that they get there, all has to do with Pele as far as we're concerned. So our dances are what we call aiha'a, and aiha'a is you stay close to the ground. The ground is where we get our energy from, so you don't see us leaving the ground at any time. Some of the other dancers may have dances that were choreographed where you have actually both feet leaving the ground. In our halau, that's not our style, because that's where we get all of our energy from the ground. And the ground, again, is represents Pele herself. The ground is female.
Ai, he motu no taula. He motu no taula. He motu no taula. Ini hone ni I taulula I atawae hoa. He motu no taula. He motu no taula. Ini hone I taulula I atawae hoa.
First of all, I'll say aloha, abinala. And I'm happy to be here at HulaKumu and sitting here on the railing and talking about the hula. More especially, I'm very happy to be here at HulaKumu Palace. Well, this was also the home of Hawaii's last ruling monarch, David La'amea Kamanaka Pu'ukalakaua, who was responsible for reviving the hula after being lost for about 75 years in our islands. Kalakaua believed that the hula is the language of the heart, and therefore the heartbeat of the Hawaiian people. HulaKumu also served as the home for two of Hawaii's great masters of the hula. The late Lokali Montgomery, who was a teacher of teachers, and Hawaii's premier dancer, Iolani Luahine. They brought the hula back to Hawaii, the ancient dancers, and taught the dancers of old Hawaii. I was very fortunate to take lessons and study under both Iolani and Lokalia. Iolani was such a great dancer. You know, she never danced the same song the same way. So to be able to be a good ho'opa'a, you have to watch the dancer. And Iolani danced just did what came, you know. And you have to watch her feet movements, her gestures, so that the drum, you feel her. She was so great that, you know, every night sometimes when I chant for her, I get so carried away and I forget, you know, she's dancing. I just get into a trance with this lady. She was so great. And of course, Lokalia, being the teacher of teachers, studies, she's a very, very strict teacher. You know, no talk, no play, no nothing, just work, you know. One time, you know, Auntie Lokalia was a big woman. And one time I said to her, Auntie, how come when you dance, all the windows don't shake? She lived in this old house. And when she danced, the windows never shook. So I said, well, how come when I dance, everything shakes? She said, because you're not good yet, that's why. You know, so that answered that question. Never asked her any more about it. In the hula, there are different phases of the hula, like going to school. You know, you start at preschool, kindergarten, high school, and college. The hula is the same way. It takes many, many years of hard work and learning. And the first phase of the hula, you know, is to learn to chant, then to ho'opa'a, then become an olapa, a dancer. And from there, you go into another phase of the hula. And finally, you uniki, or you graduation. From this phase, like high school. And then you start again, like college, and you begin all over again and be able to become a kumu hula. Because today, everybody has one uniki every year, you know. But in all my 49 years of teaching, I have given, teaching thousands of youngsters, I've given only 6 teacher's diploma in 49 years. So, you know, it's hard work. And I have so many good dancers, but lots of people are good dancers, but not good teachers. Some people are not good dancers, but they're good teachers. I know several like that, you know.
Kauai kanania o hilo, I taua loloku I hanakahi. Kauai kanania o hilo, I taua loloku I hanakahi. Akahi ho I kou manene, I ka maehu ho I o kou oho. Kahi ho I kou manene, I ka maehu ho I o kou oho. He ula leo pahanaka I iwi, I kua maila I haili. He ula leo pahanaka I iwi, I kua maila I haili. Ilihia I ta leo ka manu, Ewa maila I olaa. Ilihia I ka leo o ka manu, Ewa maila I olaa. Wala ai apua ane I e ia mākou ki aha. Wala ai apua ane I e ia mākou ki aha. Waho olava ia meli a me na lehua I pana ewa. Waho olava ia meli a me na lehua I pana ewa. Aina ia mai ka puana o ka hiku o nā lani hei noa. Haina ia mai ka puana o ka hiku o nā lani hei noa. E ala e ala e a. Ie, 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 ie. Ho ie ho ino ho I ka ohue I ka ukale hua o kula manue. Ona I te ala lau o ke kupu kupu. Kua e ke aloha no hopono I ka niu. Ei. Hoi.
To be able to interpret the dance, you know, like people say, oh, you know, this halau does this spin, and this halau does that. You know, the Hawaiian language is, especially in the hula, tells a story. And the important thing is that Hawaiian words mean so many different things. So one teacher would interpret it to this meaning to fit her or he, and the other one this way and that. So when you watch them dance, some people say, oh, that one's wrong. But it isn't wrong. They're not wrong. They're just doing their own mana'o for each dance. Because the hula, to me, is the ability to create one's most inner feelings.
Ai, aloha mai, aloha uina la, good afternoon and welcome to Ke Auho Kona. This afternoon we are here to perform the arts that have been passed on to our generation by Mrs. Lokalia Montgomery. This afternoon we have presented for you Halau o Kalei Ho'ohie, which is in the true traditions of Hawaiian chant and dance. My name is Nale Aloha Na Pai Pai Kuneva, and I am also Keiki o Ka'aina o Kona, as well as my haumana, and my students are also from Kona, Hawaii.
Huka punohu ulai kamuan, eleka hukai uhi kaina. O lapa ka uila na hoi kahi, uina nako ua kapihe, lau kanaka kahulai.
The mele that we will begin with is entitled Akaluna o Pu'u Oni Oni. It is in honor of the goddess Pele. This mele was taught to me by Mrs. Lokalia Montgomery, and it is accompanied with the ili ili. Following Akaluna o Pu'u Oni Oni, we will then do Ule Pahu i Te Motu, which is a unique hula that speaks about a young Hawaiian man who for the first time in his life sees a foreign ship. And it is done with a step that is called the ulili. These dances have been passed on from Mrs. Montgomery to me in our hula halau.
Ai, Akaluna o Pu'u Oni Oni. Ai, Akaluna o Pu'u Oni Oni. Akaluna o Pu'u Oni Oni. Akaluna o Pu'u Oni Oni. Ke ainai na akawahine. Akaluna o Pu'u Oni Oni. Ke ainai na akawahine. Kia I kaya ulu o wahine kapu. Kia I kaya ulu o wahine kapu. Noho ana ka papala uahi. Kia I kaya ulu o wahine kapu. Noho ana ka papala uahi. Lauahi pele I kai o puna. Lauahi pele I kai o huna. Onea kai o malama. Lauahi pele I kai o huna. Onea kai o malama. Malama I ke kanaka. Malama I ke kanaka. Ahe huala hauoli. Malama I ke kanaka. Ahe huala hauoli. Haina mai ka inoa. Haina mai ka inoa. Huaka puohi iaka. Haina mai ka inoa. Huaka puohi iaka. E noa no, iaka, ika pole au pele. Ai, ule pahu I te motu. Ule pahu I te motu. Ule pahu I te motu. No a te lea lei. A e pahu I te motu. Uho helo te aha. Motu vale nati. A tau mai ta hailo. E mana holo I te motu. Ulili a ta haulu. E tu I te hoe uli. A kohi I te pale tei. E pahu I ta motu. When you get the title of being a kumu hula, to me, a kumu hula title is, wow, she's a kumu hula. And I expect you to know all of the deities of the hula. I expect you to know all of the vegetable manifestation of the deities. I expect you to know what kinds of dyes you can make from all of these different vegetable manifestations. I expect you to know how to make different kinds of lei and what the different styles represent, what the different flowers represent. Okay? I expect you to know how to translate those chants, not only at the literal level, but also the kaunas of the chants as well. To me, that is a kumu hula. So when somebody tells me that there is a kumu hula, I have a great deal of respect for that title. Except today, the title is being abused. I mean, any Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Jane, and Mary, and Sue can be a kumu hula. So they could just go out and learn to dance for a little while.
They don't even have to go out. They can just watch it on TV and say, I can do that. You know, and then they start practicing, put on their record, start practicing. I can do this. I'll start teaching. And so they pull in a lot of students and they start teaching the hula. And then because they are teaching, they're recognized as being a kumu hula. Okay, to me, that is not a kumu hula.
Aloha noho I kākou aloha noho. E hana nei noho I mākou I ke iaki. No kou noho I iki ana I a mākou. Mahalo. I am Mrs. Louise Leo Malama Beamer. I was married to my husband, Pono Deshe Beamer, way back, so way back, 1923. And I learned all of my hula. Everything about the hula I learned from my mother-in-law, Mrs. Helen Deshe Beamer.
I'm Tita Beamer Solomon. This is my mama. I was very privileged to have 3 kumu hulas. My great-grandmother, Isabella Deshe, my grandmother, Helen Deshe, and of course, my mama. Mama taught hula over 50 plus years, and I've taught hula over 40. Mama went off to Bing Crosby, with Bing Crosby, the Waikiki wedding, and we all went and shared our hulas with Hollywood. It's a way of life with us, our hula, and we dearly love our hula. Malama?
Aloha mai. My name is Malama Solomon, and my sister and I, Hulali, have been dancing hula since we were 2 years old. My name is Hulali Solomon Covington, and as my sister said, I am presently the kumu hula for Beamer Solomon Halau Opo'ohala. But because I'm also a school teacher, our hula has really been kind of on a part-time basis. Unlike Mom and Grandma, whose emphasis was on the awana or the modern hula, I really favor the kahiko or the ancient hula.
Right.
And when I teach our halau, I do a lot of work with the vavai or the feet. To me, the feet patterns is what's important.
So we'd like to give you a brief demonstration, and the hulali will kahea the steps.
Kaholo.
As you can see, in the Beamer method of hula, we use the heel and the hip.
Hela.
This is the reach tap. It's on the ball of the feet, and it's connected up with the hips. The sway, with the bend of the knee and the straight back.
Uehe.
With the uehe also we use the heel and the hip.
Walava. Ai no luna I ka halekai o ka ma'alava. No luna.
No luna I ka halekai o ta ma'alava na nakamaka he moani ne kalihualai. O hihi e maliu mai. I tu vela I ta alehuala e ala e ala e a. I laila ho. Hopoe kalehua ki e I ala ma ka uvale no I ka nakala Liloa e lalo e hele a I e ala e ala e a I lalo ho
Ke au ili ili
O ke au ili ili nehe I ke kai E ho olo no I ke kai a o puna la e a O puna I ta ulu halala e ala e ala e a I kai ko o puna O ke au ili ili nehe I ke kai E ho olo no I ke kai a o puna la e a O puna I ta ulu halala e ala e ala e a I kai ko o puna E ala e a
He noa no hi aka I ka poli o pele.
We should be together in a little hula heaven over the silver sea, gay and free together in little hula heaven under a koa tree. Days would be lazy and sweetly crazy till skies grew hazy above. Then we'd be all alone together little hula heaven, living a dream of love. Days would be lazy and sweetly crazy till skies grew hazy above. Then we'd be all alone together in little heaven.
I've seen the hula change, you know, the styles of hula change. And of course you have hula that comes from Oahu and Kauai. You have hula that comes from Molokai. You have hula that comes from Hawaii. And all of these hulas are done in different styles and originally done for different reasons. And so you'd expect that our hula would look different.
I hold my cocoa. I ananai kaulahea. Hello? Anyway. Ananai.
Ananai ta ulahea. Amana lei tuita lei. Lei pelei ta ie ia la.
Ananai.
Ananai ta ulahea. Amana lei tuita lei. Lei pelei ta ie ia la. Wahinu po o hi iata. Holoku ili o hau mea. Ua ono o pele I kana ia. Wahinu po o hi iaka. Holoku ili o hau mea. Ua ono o pele I kana ia. Hey, hey. O ka honu o pole hua. Hono I ti a I no uno. Tua papa I o ta moana. Ta e hanui tua vaka. O oli te ta ai na pele. I na oa ka I talani e. Hey, hey. O oli te ta ai na pele. I na oa ka I talani la. Hey, hey. Eli, eli kau mai. Hey, hey. Eli, eli kau mai. Hey, hey. Eli, eli kau mai. Hey, hey.
Hey no no, hiaka I ka poli o pele.
Whenever you go to a new place, you have to feel good about that place. So allow that place to come out to you instead of all just going there and taking whatever you can, make a lot of noise and do whatever, throw things around. Allow the place to come into you and you feel what that place is all about.
Emele ke ia ai no o no
pono I ke kauna oa o e punau I ua ka lehua ka vai ho olu huli ke me ke kula pili me kukuna o kaua ka mea nui o ke ailanda ka halakahiki e ho o vai vai e ho o kaulana o I ko inoa I mi o lano ka lehu Haina ia mai ana ka puana Humehana ko inoa o lana I li'i oi ke aloha nui He mana o ko ina o Haina ia mai ana ka puana Humehana ko inoa o lana I li'i oi ke aloha nui He mana o ko ina o
We're here at Keahualaka in Haena Ke'e, the most used hula platform on the island of Kauai, in fact in the state. It's been in continuous use since antiquity. I'm Roselle Bailey. We're the caretakers of this place, Keahualaka and Kaulua Pa'oa. We are from the organization Ka'imina Awao o Hawaii Nei, a nonprofit tax exempt organization. Our philosophy in our school is to search for the truth in the Hawaiian culture and to give the dignity to the Hawaiian culture back to the Hawaiians and for everyone to understand the Hawaiian people, the Hawaiian culture. We take care of this place and we sponsor a ho'ola'a here, or an uniki, or a ho'okuku. And that's a major step because this place belongs to antiquity. It is not just mere preservation, it then becomes perpetuation.
This is the district of Ka'ana on the island of Molokai. And this, in the traditions of Molokai, is the birthplace of the hula. It was here many, many generations ago that the hula was first performed and kept only within the La'ila'i family. And many people from the outside islands, from Hawaii, Maui, Lanai, Kauai, would come here to this place on the top of Mauna Loa in Ka'ana to enjoy the hula and watch. Many people for generations came here and wanted to learn this art from this family that dwelt here. And it was during the time of a woman, Kapo Ula Kina'u, who was very skillful in the art of the hula, that people came to her, begging her to ask to be taught the dance. So she agreed and told the people that under the conditions that they would learn the hula, this special gift under her laws and her kapus, and the people agreed. And many of them came here to learn, and there were too much for Kapo Ula Kina'u to handle. So to help her with the amounts of people that came here to learn the hula, she had taught her youngest sister. And her youngest sister learned the hula very, very quickly. And at the completion of her work in the hula, Kapo Ula Kina'u unikied or graduated her sister and gave her 3 names by which she was to be known and would teach the hula by. The first name was Ulunui, and the second name was Laea, and the third name was Laka. And by those 3 names she left. And Laka left the top of Mauna Loa here and journeyed westward to the island of Ni'ihau. And there she spread the hula, then moving to Kauai, then Maui, backtracked to Lanai, and then off in the distance to the Big Island. And when she reached the Big Island in the district of Puna, she was very old, and there she spread the hula there. And after knowing that she was soon to die, she returned here back to Ka'ana to live out the rest of her days. And when she died, the people buried her under this hill that we are sitting here, Pu'unana. And after her death, the people praised Molokai as Molokai Kahula Piko, which means Molokai, the center of the dance. And as generations became far removed from the reality of Laka, they began to elevate her and deify her unto a goddess as she is known today. This particular hula is in honor of Laka and speaks of her travels from island to island, done in Pu'unana. We do for you hulia na o Laka ile hua moe. Ai, hulia no Laka ile hua moe. Hulia na o Laka ile hua moe. Ahie hie tuni hau te e hukai. Lana ko e akaha e na I loko. E Laka kumu hula o kahana. Ke kuhi kauna I hua ai te alakai. O hola mua moa na lave I kauno. Ke haa nei Laka hula vanu I te tula. Uhi uka makani na halala. O helele I na mu o hala I talepo tu. Kamakani ho ono ho. I talepo ho ono ho. Ia talepo a kawa ukele. Ulupu una uala ho o ne oni I heu. A hula pau ke ha'ala o Laka e. A holo hula I ano Laka ai uala. Ai a taua I huli po o Laka e. He lue no ke ia no ke wei. O vai ale me he poli kamakua. O hanai kalani me a pau o le ai. E ue nei la mau o mai la. Aloha e o ni I hau ahe ahe. Aloha ni I hau no ulupu na uala. Aloha e, aloha e, aloha e, aloha e, ala e a. Hei noa no Laka kumuhula o ka ana. On the windswept plains of Kalaupapa is a small hill that is called Pu'uli'i. And all this hill, as legend goes, was the home of a dog god whose name was Bokiku Mano. And he was very helpful to the fishermen. When the fishermen would go out past the hill and into the ocean to fish, if there was danger, the dog would howl in the wind. And when the old Hawaiians heard this howling in the wind, they would quickly come back into shore, for they knew that there would be danger approaching. And during times of war, the dog god Bokiku Mano would turn himself into a giant cloud which covered the whole flats of Kalaupapa. And as the enemy approached, this thick fog would appear and they would lose their way, many times crashing into the reef, losing their lives. And the people loved this dog, and they created this chant in memory and in honor of this dog god, Bokiku Mano. And within the chant, because of the howling of this dog, the chant is interwoven with howling, glorifying the dog god, Bokiku Mano of Kalaupapa. Ai, Bokiku Mano, Kalaupapa, Oh, vai vai no na la ya vai vai ve ho vai vai no na la di le vai vai ve vai 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 ya vai vai no na la tu le vai vai ve ho vai vai no na la tu le vai vai ve ko hena ya ko hena vai ya vai vai no no vai vai no na ko hena vai vai no na ko hena oh vai vai no na ya vai vai no na la tu le vai 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 no na la tu le vai 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 no na tu le vai vai no vai vai no vai vai no vai vai no hey no ano boki kumano mano o kalau papa.
Many people write songs. This is why the hula is not like any other kind of dancing. You know, the ballet is ballet. And what they did 150 years ago, the same ballet is the same thing 150 years ago. Well, the hula changes because each teacher, every day there's new songs. And every day the teacher must create a new song. And many of them don't speak the language, so they take out the dictionary and literally take these songs and put it together. So somebody will say, oh, that halau is not doing right, and this halau is. They're still doing right because they translated the song. Hawaiian words mean so many things. But what was the intent of the composer is important, you know. So if you don't know the kauna or the hidden word in this particular chant or song, the song doesn't puka through. Or else, if you're lucky enough to know the composer, then you know the mana'o of the composer.
The songs that I do are mostly the older songs. And when I do these songs, most of the older people get up and really dance and sing to them. But today we have a tradition. We're honoring the young. We want the young to follow in the steps of the old people. And this song that we're doing today is Moani Keala. It's done for an area around the volcano. It's a cold area. It's about a cold wind, but a friendly wind. And this guy is enlightening this girl to this friendly wind. He says, oh, here, o Moani Keala. He says, hey, he said, here you are. He says, you're so cold, but I know you're friendly. You know, he said, if we're going to do anything, let's do it before it's too late. Au hea o Moani Keala, o pili o mi nei, a hea ha kauhana e pave o nei, e kamakani pupulena, ruhi au a he pono ke ia, au e ho apa mai nei, e wiki mai oe i pono ka haua, i olu ho i au e ke hoa, i olu ho i au e ke hoa, ho o hihi a kuvaula i ke, ia vai ma puna puna, o kaua tuahine, i o anue nue, o iau ka iu iu. Kuhi au a he pono ke ia, au e ho apa mai nei, e wiki mai oe, i pono ta haua, i olu ho i au e ke hoa, i olu
when students come, Hamana come into a halau, they really expect to be dancing all over the floor and doing kaholo here and moving all about. But when I was young, we did noho hulas, which meant you sat on the floor. A noho hula is a sitting dance. And with a sitting dance, it's very different because you have to memorize all the words of the mele. You don't have someone else chanting for you. And I went through that for about 3 years, but I was really pakiki, real hard head, yeah. I stuck it out no matter what. That's what I wanted, and I stuck it out, and I'm happy I did. Here we have a noho hula, a sitting dance, using the punio, the coconut shell knee drum. The dancers will tell you the story of Kihavahine, a mo'o, a goddess of the island of Maui.
He aloha wale no Kihavahine. He aloha. He aloha wale no Kihavahine. Akamehameha I o mana'ai. He aloha. He aloha wale no Kihavahine. Akamehameha I o mana'ai. No Maui, no Maui, he ali'iwa I ne nani. O ke au kahiko, o na wahanau. No Maui, no Maui, ke ali'iwa I ne nani. O ke au kahiko, o na wahanau. Ua hoa kua. Ua hoa kua o Kihavahine. Naka lehu lehu no I ka ua ai. Ua hoa kua. Ua hoa kua o Kihavahine. Naka lehu lehu no I ka ua ai. E moa kua. E moa kua wahine kaulana. Mai Hawaii ani hau. E moa kua. E moa kua wahine kaulana. Mai Hawaii ani hau. Hoi e ke kapu. Hoi e ke kapu me Kihavahine. E ola mako a mau a hula. Hoi e ke kapu. Hoi e ke kapu me Kihavahine. E ola mako a mau a hula. Hei noa no Kihavahine.
This is my husband, Charles Ka'ulu Vehi Maxwell, and he's really my support. And sometimes I feel, oh, I'm just tired. I didn't know you can do it again, you know. And he's the aloha of the halau, full of joy and help and always there, giving me his kokua, which I deeply appreciate. And sometimes we don't tell them, you know. But I do.
There's so many different types of so-called kahiko hula that I think we're losing the essence of the traditional form of hula, which is the original olapa that was brought by the Pele sisters from Tahiti long ago.
The pahu was a very, very important instrument in the hula. And during ancient times, the pahu was used for ceremonial dances, sacred dances performed in the temples in ancient Hawaii. And these dances were performed only by the men. These dances were known as the hula pahu, hula meaning the dance, and of course pahu, the drum. As the chanter or the priest beat upon the drum, to the ancients it sounded like thunder in the heavens, or it sounded like the crash of the waves upon the shore. And these or the natural sounds of nature, the force and the power of nature. And the hula is nature, is the force and imitative of nature through man's body. And so these two things, these two forces, these two natural forces blended together evenly. And that is why the pahu and the dance were so sacred and so important to be put together.
Actually, I think what the problem is the language. I know when I was growing up and I was a young girl, a lot of people spoke the language. Today they're speaking the language, but they're speaking more a book language. And if you take what your kupuna told you, and you take what the book tells you, it may vary. And so they're having this pilikia, this problem. Since the audience does not know the language, they're going to really dramatize that dance to get it across, to get the message across. Before, just one wink of the eye and a little lift of the eyebrow, no more need be said, right? But that's the problem that we have, the language. And if you take the simplicity and work on it, I think you can get the message across original, the way it was.
Upon the death of David Kalakaua, his sister Liliuokalani inherited the Hawaiian throne. Along with the regality, she inherited too the troubles of this little Hawaiian kingdom. In 1881, when David Kalakaua traveled on his famous world tour, his sister, the Princess Liliuokalani, took over duties as regent to the Hawaiian kingdom. And one of her first duties was to travel upon the royal train Lanakila to oversee her kingdom. And it was true that she traveled from Honolulu to Moanalua and then beyond to Halava. Upon her journey, as she glanced about the country, she marveled at the beauty of these Hawaiian islands. Glancing about on that journey, she marveled to see the great industry of her people. It didn't take long before the train arrived at Manana, the place called Pearl City in this island called Oahu. It wasn't long, and the people had been waiting for her arrival since morning. She spoke once to the conductor. Let us bring our train to a stop here at Manana. There upon her arrival, the citizens and the native-borns of Hawaii honored her with great aloha. To acknowledge her presence with cheers of aloha, for she was their royal ali'i. And as the train departed there for Honolulu'ili, swaying back and forth, she waved and cheered on by her subjects. There in the archway of the train she stood, turning this way and that way, with greetings of aloha. And so praises are sung to honor her name, the name of Liliuokalani, the last ruling monarch of Hawaii. And we will honor the names of our ali'i through the dance and the art of hula. And so the hula will continue to live on among the young of Hawaii.
The hula is the most important part of the Hawaiian culture. What we have now is remnants of that past culture, but it's so important because everything else of the culture has been obliterated by the Western culture, has been intermingled, has been diluted. So if our hula is also diluted, then we have nothing pure to go back to.
You know, I'm really a stickler for keeping things traditional, especially the hula kahiko. And the word kahiko is self-explanatory. You know, it means of the old. But today, lots of people write chants, you know, and call this kahiko. It isn't a real thing last month. You know. But someday it will be kahiko, you know, because then it'll be old. 50 years from now, 75 years from now. Just like our chants we have today. But we don't want to discourage these young people from writing. You know, this is very important that they carry on. But what I think that they should be writing about, instead of writing about something old, because which have already been handed down to us already, they should be writing about things happening today, so there will be some kind of history of our Hawaii.
Huli ka ho'o I kino kānaka spākai Ho'o launa e hele hoi tai tato kātou I kai e lua e kolu e hā lima I lalo holo wāwai Naka TV I ho I te mai ta I loa o ka exercise Hanu aku, hanu mai Pono no katou e aroba sai Kai e lua e kolu e hā lima I lalo holo wāwai O ka pui ini ole paina lilia ho'ovi stretch a ba ka alu oli loana ya oe he puhalalu oli loana ya oe he puhalalu e kai e lua kolu e ha lima I lalo holo wāwai o ka pui ka ini ole paina lilia ho'ovi stretch a ba ka alu oli loana ya oe he puhalalu Hallelujah. Oni lo ana ya oe he puhalalu e kai e lua e kolu e ha di mai lalo holo wāwai Puana ia ke ia au huli ka ho'o I kino kānaka spākahi Ho'o launa e hele hoi tai tato kātou Kai e lua e kolu e ha di mai lalo holo wāwai Kai e lua e kolu e ha di mai lalo holo wāwai 1, 2, 3, 4, up, down, aloha!
As I said earlier, they can stand on the head as far as I'm concerned about the modern hula. But kahiko, keep it traditional. So that at least we have something that still belongs to Hawaii. You know? And the hula is Hawaii. The hula is the history of Hawaii. remember, we had no written language. Everything was in the mind. You had to remember and hand it down from one generation to the next generation, each chant.
Even if other things are being introduced, which, I don't necessarily like, the continuation of hula is important.
Auaia. This is a hula pahu. It's a very old chant, a traditional chant, and it has an important message. It's a prophecy, and it tells the people of Hawaii to hold on to your culture. It is very, very important. Hold fast.
Ke mai lau kaula I ke kai e, ke malama o ni iha ua mali e. A mali e pa, ka inu vaila, ke inu maila, na hala o na we ke kai, no na we ka hala, no puna ka wahine, no ka alua noi kiloe ai. Ai auaia.
Auaia e kama e kona moku, no kona moku e kama e auaia. Okay, kama I ka huli nuu. Okay, kama I ka huli au. Huli hia papio ai lalo e ke alo. Huli hia ka nuu. O ka hana ana ia hiki I hula Kaia ka ali'i o ka hoakuku me ka upena aku o ihu ani o ka imu o uini o lani o la'a o ke ave ai ku ai a la'ahia aua ia e kama e kona moku no kona moku e kama e aua ia o ke kama I ka huli o ke kama I ka huli au huli ia papio ai lalo e ke alo huli ia ka nuku o ka hana ana ia hiki I hula Kaia ka ali'i o ka hoakuku me ka upena aku o ihu ani o ka imu o uini o lani o la'a o ke ave ai ku ai a la'ahia ana ia hala pepe ka honua o ka motu
I hale e te tiu, pero tai tapu, tō wera lohe a tana loa.
Ladies and gentlemen, aloha awina la. Thank you for joining us here at the Kamukila Campbell Hula Festival here at Lani Kuhonua. Our next halau to perform for you under the direction of their kumu hula, Lydia Kawakahi. Please welcome Halau Kahanuola Ameka Ehukai and the musical accompaniment of Ikona.
I know